Hello and welcome to CGW Radio. That's right, I said it. CGW Radio. It's April 23rd, 2008.
Oh, man, you got it right this time.
I'm on a roll. I'm getting all the pertinent facts
You don't need the
right.
constant.
I don't. Yeah. that young man's voice was one of our two very special guests this week, along with the two regulars.
But not that kind of special.
No, they're that.
I was going
Not short bus special. Yeah.
See, I was totally going to go there.
You were,
but
there
you
you
didn't.
go.
Maybe astute long-term one-up readers might actually already recognize those two voices. I don't know.
Crikey.
But we'll introduce them in a moment after the regular guests introduce themselves.
Ryan Scott.
And Shawn Malloy.
Shawn Elliott is sick and on vacation both.
A little of both.
Oh,
What?
He's like-
Come on, pick an excuse for why
Yes,
you're not here.
He's extra not here this time.
That's a terrible
He had
vacation.
a horrible flu yesterday and was debating whether to get on his red-eye flight, and that's the last I heard of him.
So either he's, maybe
if-
he's both.
So if there's a weird outbreak in the eastern seaboard, it's probably him.
Shawn Elliott's fault.
Yeah.
You do kind of want to space out your excuses a little better. That
Yeah.
wasn't very savvy of him.
No.
I'm sick. I'm on vacation.
The dog ate my review.
I'm both.
Hey, wait, so where, I mean, we were speculating incorrectly last time he was on vacation that he was in Hawaii.
Oh,
So
right.
where
What
is he
was
this
what
time?
was his friend's name? He had
Hans.
Hans. Yeah.
Oh,
so
dear.
where are Shawn and Hans now? Or
Shawn and Hans.
or maybe
Paris,
he's-
Texas.
Yeah. I don't know where. Maybe that can be the next one-up contest. Where are Shawn and Hans?
Sounds like some bad MySpace series.
Assuming he's going somewhere with Hans again. whoever
Sending
Hans
your
is.
answer and you'll win a Yorkie bar.
Oh, I'm going to eat that.
Not for
It
girls.
says it's not for girls.
I know.
Okay?
There is, in
You're
fact,
the one person in the room who does not get to eat
And
this.
there is a no, person with purse logo
Oh, that
on
is
it.
true.
Yeah.
I do have a
They don't-
We are missing
too.
so much context right now.
Okay.
We are. We need to
Sorry.
get back in context here.
All right.
Our two special guests, if you have not recognized their voices, are former CGW employees, which is why I said CGW Radio. For this week only, or not, I don't know.
Hey, we like leaving our
We have
jobs.
actually a majority of of CGW people now. Well, no, you were all on.
I was on
Yep.
CGW.
Yeah, your first issue, Shawn, was...
Right before GFW started.
Did you have
like
one
the-
issue of CGW?
It was maybe 3.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
So
you
we're
were
all
already-
veterans.
The Splinter Cell double agent one, I came in right at the end. Then we did Sam and Max.
Yep.
And
Lowest
Team
selling
Fortress.
cover of the year.
What the
And-
hell?
Oh, poor Sam and
I
Max.
know. Can you believe that?
We should be
C
really
per cell
pro.
cover and everything.
I know.
News
And there was the
stories
Team
are
Fortress
dumb.
cover.
So you're going to
and
introduce us, or are you just going to
No.
You got halfway through.
Okay, former CGW employees, then OPM editors, and then the hammer came crashing down.
And we were
They-
asked
way
to
of
leave the
putting it.
building.
They paved the way for us. They set the trend in Ziff magazine closings.
Yeah, our condolences, by the way, because
Thank you.
we understand what it's like to have a magazine close, although we lost our jobs, too.
True.
Yeah.
We only lost our
Yeah,
dignity.
I was shown his street.
I'm just kidding. We have plenty of dignity here. Still.
Yeah, right.
Well, they do. I never do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Why not?
I'm still not getting to the point.
Right.
We have Terry Scooter Nguyen
Howdy.
to my left and Dana Jongewaard to my right.
Hello.
Both now employees of GameTap.com.
Along with another former OPMer, Giancarlo Varanini.
Right. So those who have wondered, and we do get that question at oneup.com every once in a while. What happened to the OPM gang? 3 of them are at GameTap.com.
We are.
Indeed.
And we would have wanted Mr. Ribicki to come, too, but he moved off to Ohio. So
It's kind of cute the way you guys move from job to job together. You're like a
this
little
is the
little posse.
third time Scooter and I have
Yeah,
worked
that's
together.
weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you before Ziff?
No,
No,
it was
that's
CGW.
OPM.
Now Game Tap.
Game Tap. But I
Jamba
beat you to
Juice.
Game Tap. I can't, I
And
followed you to
Jamba Juice.
OPM,
Yeah.
and I came in after CGW. But yeah. Then
They
I went
both
to Game
escaped
Tap
my
first.
hellish reign of terror.
Regime.
Boy,
Yeah.
let me tell you, what a glad day that was. Jeff.
Thanks. I felt the same
Man.
way. We're not even remotely in control here. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm never in control.
So you guys work at GameTap.
We do.
A site that we have said many good things about here on this podcast because we are fans of the old games.
As
You
are we.
don't need
but-
to butter our
and
sauce.
new one.
No, I'm letting a little bit of pimpage happen here because we are former workmates and people have wondered where you are. So in fact, you guys are both writing at the editorial part of GameTap.com.
We do have an editorial section.
And if my what I did a little research on it before, and if I have this correct, so any game that actually is on GameTap.com that you guys review, you automatically give a good review to, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's such an awesome review of Conflict tonight. I was getting a 3.
Yeah, maybe let's not go down these roads.
I'm just kidding. Complete editorial integrity, just like we had with Microsoft.
Yes.
Indeed.
Amen.
We do. We have a very great set of bosses who are interested in keeping us very honest. So, yeah,
Well,
not
good.
hacks. Yeah, that's good.
So, right. So
also
if
have
you have
commercials
been
for your
missing
site.
these guys writing, you can go to GameTap.com and find Scooter and Dana and Giancarlo.
Voila.
Voila.
We are there.
Indeed.
Is that enough of a payoff
Yeah, that's
for
that's
getting you
good.
guys to come out here?
That and the $20 for parking, and I'll be set to go.
Was it really?
I'm joking. Yeah, no, it's fine.
While we're
But not really.
while we're doing business here, but not really. Yeah, while we're doing business here, I got to thank. I'm drinking coffee out of a. Isn't this coffee cup awesome?
It is
Yes.
pretty
It's
spectacular.
a 97.5 the Brodio cup.
Yo.
It says yeah. There's a computer saying yo yo, and he's wearing headphones. And this was sent to me from Martin Bayer. I hope I got your last name right. He's Zater on the NeoGAF forums, and he sent me a note that says, "For Jeff Green, sorry to hear about the magazine closing down. I never was able to read it because I am from Germany." We got that a lot. Never read your magazine, but sorry it's gone. Yeah. Always read it for free, but sorry it's
Well,
gone.
that explains why it's gone. doesn't it?
Yeah. But I love the podcast, so to cheer you up a little gift for you. I hope it turned out well, and it did turn out well. It's an excellent cup, so thank you, Martin. And also, just right before we came down here, we got a big bag of candy sent to us. 2 big bags of candy. I only brought down 1. From David Gowans, also at NeoGAF. We have fans at that forum. A huge bag of candy from Switzerland. I'm laughing because this thing keeps emanating bags of white
Swithrax, man.
dust. Yeah.
We're all gonna.
It's
this
a bag full of
podcast
anthrax
just
from
Good.
Switzerland.
Yeah, all of these candies are coated in a fine layer of silt.
Which does not stop us from opening.
Yeah,
and starting
Ryan
to
Scott's
go
Ryan
Ryan crazy
Scott's-
for the Maynard Sports Mixture, which apparently gummy sports instruments like your gummy wiffle bat, your gummy racket, your
Oh,
gummy
hell
old-time
yeah.
car.
How many of these
did
did
to
you
get
eat?
energized for your tennis
I don't know.
match?
Like 50?
Yeah.
And
So
one
if
of
Ryan's
them
not
is
on next
also-
week, you'll know why.
One is also a Yorkie candy bar, which
All right.
says on it,
It's the
it's
tagline?
not for girls.
It's not for girls.
And the
not
O
underlined.
in Yorkie
Yeah.
has a no person with purse symbol, which is odd because instead of using the skirt as a
True.
Well,
part,
there's a
it's just like-
skirt and a
Oh,
purse.
Oh, there's a skirt?
and a
Okay,
purse,
so it's
yeah.
not women and men with man purses.
Well, could be women
Could
and
be.
men with man purses too. There
I
are
guess.
men who
We do
wear
not
skirts.
know
Guys wear
Yorkie's
skirts.
agenda.
True.
Yeah.
It could be a Scottish fellow in a kilt
It
with
could
a man
be.
purse.
Exactly.
Where are these from? Like what?
Well,
nation?
the address is from
Clearly not the
Switzerland.
U.S.
I believe
Parts of Europe.
this is a result of a thread where folks were talking about candy from other countries, and this is
Maybe it's just a mixture.
that result. But it is, in fact, coated in asbestos.
The clouds of anthrax.
Or anthrax, yeah.
I'm
It
looking.
reminds
We're
me of
laughing now, but they're going to be sweeping our
This may
bodies
be the
away
last
in a couple
episode.
hours.
UK is the first phone number on here.
I mean, it reminds
Ooh,
me
it's
of
a
how
copyright of 2005 too, so maybe it is the age.
This one contains
Thing.
5
I used to work with this
tubes.
guy from New Zealand, Logan,
Oh, yeah, Logan.
and he would come back from New Zealand with this bizarre potato chips, like lamb and weird
Yeah,
Marmite flavored chips. I'm like, what?
yeah, they're
Wow.
pretty.
Lamb potato chips?
Yeah.
Like the hell?
Ick.
The barbecued shrimp ones.
So,
There's all sorts
Yeah.
of.
so Ryan is the guinea pig here.
So
As
Ryan,
usual.
Each tube contains nil saturates.
There you go.
You should know
So you
that.
don't need to worry if you're worried about your saturate consumption.
Yeah.
There are nil.
They're nil.
So thank you to everybody for all the lovely gifts. And also there's still been a lot of nice emails and stuff coming in about the closing of the mag. So thanks for that. We appreciate
What
it.
are you laughing
We
about,
do.
Scoot?
sorry, I saw one of the I'm looking at the back of Ryan's sports mixture candy. One of the flavors is midget gems. Which totally sounds like something different in a different context. But apparently, it's also candy.
That sounds like a horrible euphemism for something I don't want to think about. Yeah. Walk away from that.
Come eat your midget
So
gem.
Do we have wine pastilles, too? Wine candy.
All right, I think Jeff's trying to get something on track.
Well, I'm just trying to see if we have any agenda here today. Or we just said, come on down. Yep. We had Elliot Chin last week, so this is sort of like the parade of ex-CGW people.
Reminiscing.
Yeah, and we said, come into the big city, revisit our old stomping grounds. Why, yes, please.
I showed you your old desk. You could have just sat down and kept working.
I think mine is still Garnett's office, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think. He still has my Christopher Walken face on the door.
I noticed that.
That was yours?
Mm-hmm.
So one interesting fact about Terry Scooter Nguyen, you are now, how old are you now?
28.
And how old were you on your first day at Computer Gaming World?
I had turned 17. I actually started, my internship started a month after you had started working there, actually.
True.
Because you started, May 96? I went there like the summer of 96, like June-ish.
Yep.
And you had some like crazy remark about how the first day I sat at some staff meeting and your ear was all cut up for some weird reason. You're like, I'm in my Van Gogh phase. That's like how you greeted me. I'm like,
really?
Yes. Because I remember your ear was all bandaged up and you're just like, yeah, I'm in my Van Gogh phase.
I don't remember that at all. I cut my ear?
Again, I never got the real story from you. That's what you told me.
Okay.
And then either you or Elliot told me like, I don't know, go arrange some boxes or something.
Yeah, you were definitely, we had you schlepping shit around all the time.
Well, he was an intern who at least did what he was told.
That's true. We had interns in the future who did not do what they were told.
Ryan.
What the hell?
But Scooter did. Yeah, it was like just this kid around, hanging around, causing trouble.
Interrupting your might and magic turns.
Yeah,
you gotta move your elf over there. Over there.
Yeah, you did actually. You did a lot of backseat gaming too, because you didn't really have like a place to sit. I remember too, so you were always,
I always had to
hovering around me and Elliot.
Either that or take the desk of someone who just happened to not be there that day. It was like my desk for the day.
Right. So you were there in the glory days of like 15 people on the staff. You remember
15 people,
that I'm actually not exaggerating.
No, there was a lot. I mean, there was like at least 3 or 4 art people also, and there's a lot of gaming and editorial talk. And
you needed a lot of art people to make those crazy flames that ran across the 40-page graphics card features.
It's a lot of fire.
Are you mocking us? No. And the editor-in-chief had an assistant. That's the thing that gets to me
crazy.
the most.
Yeah. Who's now like the director of like Sony PR in Europe or something like that.
Yep, Charlotte Panther. Wonderful person. But Johnny Wilson at the time had an assistant who did his expenses and even answered the phone for him. It's crazy.
Wow.
And I was technically her assistant. Like it was her. I was prioritize her stuff. As apparently in the Ziff intern, org chart. Apparently, I was like tasked to her in particular.
Huh.
She just said ask like Jeff or Elliot what they need help with.
We didn't need help with shit. We never did anything. That was a great thing with 15 people on the staff.
Yeah.
Play Quake all day? Yeah. 11 other people to do this job.
Why don't you go see what Elliot's building?
So is that when Ken was the managing editor?
Yep.
Ken was managing editor.
He was so cranky at you guys all the time.
Well, I told the story in last week's podcast of when he busted Elliot and I for playing Might and Magic on Deadline.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of been a pattern of your employment at CGW, is getting busted by your managing editors.
Excuse me, I play games for a living.
There are 3 former managing editors of yours sitting at this table right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
I could be crucified in this very room by angry managing editors.
Although I don't think anyone else took away his phone cord, his internet connection, and then taped him into his office to make him get something done.
No, I don't think I ever did anything as hardcore as that.
Yeah, and actually the great thing about that was you were not kidding.
No.
You were actually kind of genuinely
Well, part of it was
mad.
because people always go into your office.
Yes.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to keep them out as much as I was trying to keep you in.
Right.
But then I know you surf online all the time.
Right.
I would usually send Jeff like a stupid link to like a lolcat picture, be like, "Oh, hey Jeff, you see that link I sent you?" And you wanted me to stop doing that.
Yeah.
This was pre-lolcats, but yeah.
I'm just giving people like
it was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It probably would have been the friggin' like hamster dance that
Yeah,
or something.
it might have been the hamster dance.
But right, yeah, I remember you storming in because I'm sure it was a Greenspeak, right? That I had written. That's what it always is.
Yeah.
And
you managed to miss not only like you turned in the Greenspeak so late, it not only missed like the deadline for that month, but it missed the deadline for the next month's Greenspeak too. Wow.
Yeah, she actually witnessed the one time when I lapped myself in lateness. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I would always say, you would promise me, you're like, no, I promise you it's going to be in tomorrow. And then I'd be like, if not, you owe me a bottle of scotch. And you'd be like, oh, it'll totally be in. And then you would never get it in. You owe me like 20 bottles of scotch.
I owe you lots of scotch.
You do.
And then, ironically, the very last issue of GFW, I was going to turn it in. I swear. I know it sounds so empty. I have 3 managing editors here who can roll their eyes.
How many times did you hear that?
I swear it was going to be in early.
I swear it's going to be in. Yeah.
It was mostly written. I'm saying with air quotes.
The only time you missed a deadline, quote unquote, was when you had pneumonia. So I guess you had
That's true.
Pretty decent excuse.
That's the one time when I actually did not even make the deadline at all.
You
but it was
were very
pneumonia.
sick. I saw you then because that was when I was unemployed.
Yep.
Thanks to Ziff no longer requiring my services. And so I actually came over to bring you food.
You brought me soup, I remember.
Because your wife and daughter were out of the country.
Yeah, they left the country when I got pneumonia. That was
that was
a loving touch
with smart pneumonia.
Planning. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. They didn't abandon me.
You were very, very, very ill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, you made a deadline today.
I did. I made my very first. I wrote my very first console review, actually.
Oh, crap.
Oh my God.
It was a Wii review for Battle of the Bands. And I made the deadline. The deadline was today, and I turned it in.
So I think the internet will be good for you that way.
So all your PC stuff, all the stuff you write for your own magazine,
you're worried?
You cannot make a deadline to save your life.
I'll tell you.
You.
But this is common with writers, and I was actually going to bring this up as a serious point. And maybe you guys who have made the transition from print to online already at GameTap can confirm. And that's that. I mean, it's the age-old thing. You take the time allotted to you, right?
Yeah.
I used to work on a weekly magazine, and I never missed my deadline there because, well, for one, you couldn't because they would completely frickin' kick your ass if you did.
Right?
Right, but also it was too. With the weekly, and of course, the internet is much more, it's not just daily, it's like hourly, but the weekly made it impossible to miss because it would just pile on so fast that you would just be screwed for forever. So you had to stay on deadline. I mean, don't you find that working online, like you see a demo and then you have to go write something up right there, right?
Last week wrote, I mean, how many previews did you, because we did the Namco thing, so Scoot and I went to the Namco event, and I wrote up 3 articles from that, like, the next day, and you wrote up 3 as well, right?
Yeah, like an RPG and something.
And then you went off to Midway the day after that, and then turned in all 3 pieces from, like, you saw
on
stuff
that
through
same
the night.
Day?
Like, the next morning, like, at 9, when I got up and I logged on, and Scooter had turned in all 3 of his...
See, now I mentored Scooter in procrastination.
I know that. I used to have to deal with both of you.
Yeah,
but
that was
now,
right now, like,
it's
2
changed
hours
you.
of sleep and me, like, eating Fat Burger at 4 in the morning. Be like, I got to write about games. Here you go,
well.
kids.
I appreciated it.
But
I love the Running Man.
But if this had been for OPM or CGW, would you have...
No, I would
They'd still not be written,
Oh,
right?
no.
That would have been. I would have drank more and then eat more Fat Burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you let that window of like immediacy slip by, and then it's a week later.
Well, yeah, we went to another event like a week. When was that? It was like a week and a half ago, and the embargo is this Friday, and we still haven't written any of the things yet. I just started like putting my notes onto the computer.
Yeah,
this morning.
I did a brief stint at GameSpot after I got laid off, and GDC last year was actually my eye opener for online versus print because. At OPM and CW, like, oh yeah, I went to GC. Yeah, I can think about stories. I can, maybe do a follow-up email and be like, oh yeah, I gotta write that, don't I? And then get up by the deadline. That's like about 2.5 weeks later. GC was like the first time I'm like, man, I gotta stay up till like 3 more and write the stupid ass story because I gotta get it
done.
Now.
Yep.
I think this is our future, Shawn.
Rude.
E3 is what I'm stressed about because we were
E3
both employed by GameTap, but we weren't live yet at E3 this last year.
So
we didn't have to. We didn't launch for another month.
Yeah, we were the online with like the print schedule at E3. We just went to meetings. I just sat there and be like, yeah, I like games.
Yep. This looks great.
I'll write about it later.
Where's the party?
Cool. Can I have a bottle of water?
Yeah.
We've all started to kind of get a taste of the E3.
Yeah, we
grind.
have.
We have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same with GDC.
But the fact is, even in the
drafted.
Yeah. But even in the print-only days, E3 was always hectic and a bitch.
Well, it was hectic as far as appointments went, but then you didn't have to worry about going back that night.
It was hectic with appointments, and that you got screwed when it actually came deadline time because you realized all those routes that were playing off now are due now. Yeah. So basically, E3 for a print person, I think at the time for me was like a delayed, oh shit, I'm screwed effect. Because online, I'm like, oh, I got to write this like tonight after I see it. E3 are like, oh yeah, I won't worry about it for 2 weeks. I won't write anything for 2 weeks. And then when you guys come like, oh, it's deadline, like, oh crap, I got 3 previews.
And you would do that at OPM all the time because he was Scoot was the previews editor, and ended up like, I mean, everyone would write everything, but as a result, you would end up writing a lot of the previews, and it'd be like the Friday before, and we'd be shipping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm like, all right, Scoot, and then you would just like, it's like they'd all been percolating in your head, and then suddenly you would just go, and they would all be there. Like,
and they'd be really good too.
My initial E3 experience was totally hectic, and it was at a print magazine, but I was at GamePro, but E3 happened to fall like right on our shipping days, so we would prelay everything out, and then we'd have to like, figure out an E3 feature
horrible.
Like instantly. So
wow,
that's horrible.
Yeah, those were rough.
That was your first E3?
It was like the first 3 E3s. It always happened that way. I don't know if it was on purpose. I wasn't like privy to the production schedule or anything like that back then. So I don't know. Maybe it was like they decided to do that on purpose to like be super timely.
You hear that?
We had something like that.
Yes,
the issue that where you started that Splinter Cell issue. Mm-hmm. I remember having to like, well, the cover story had to be to art like the day before. Like I got on my plane to E3 because it had to like ship.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like the last one left, like specifically to edit the cover story.
Right.
But it was one of those crazy timing things.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
E3.
I mean, you know, they have these pre-E3 events kind of to help you get some of them out of the way.
They started to do pre-E3 events.
Have they really?
They've themselves with events.
The last week was basically like pre-3, and now you're going to have your pre-3 events in the middle of May with like
the second. Sorry, I moved my mic down so you wouldn't hear me chewing, but you couldn't hear me talking. Like the second week in May, it's like in 3 days there are 5 companies doing pre-E3 things, and I don't like. We're checking now to see if they have embargoes, so they're at least spaced out when you can write them up. But the first one, they're like, nope, no embargo. We're like,
I fucking hate pre-E3, and I just say it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know why and how it started. I think EA was the first one to do it. They would have like their EA day.
They'd have like
right?
EA.
And they'd be like, you don't have time to see all of our games at E3, so you can come see all at once beforehand. And you have time to enjoy yourself at E3.
Yeah, time to enjoy yourself when you have to run off to this next event an hour later and see all of their games
now,
too.
But the theory would be that they have you as a captive audience for the whole day. You can see everything that you would totally not even have a second look at E3 itself. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why they often don't even try to, like, if you go to an EA pre-E3 event, they might not have, like, the spores and stuff because they know that you will take a look at that.
But they'll have the Cudgel Xanthor at
EA
Spring Break.
I would spend all day with Cudgel Xanthor.
Somebody in the...
and what's his face who likes his cheese?
Oh,
I don't even remember the name of that.
It was Brack.
I loved that.
Brack Studios.
Yeah.
Which actually was what language was I using? Was it Swedish or
Finnish? Or?
Yeah, I used a Swedish English dictionary, and that actually meant vomit. But nobody actually bothered to see if those words
people
were
thought the preview was real.
Yeah, some people
I know
thought
that was the both beautiful and scary things.
I did notice there's a thread on Quarter to Three where people were talking about, are we going to rename this podcast? And I don't know if you saw the Scooter, but somebody suggested Radio Free Xanthor, which made me happy.
I like that.
So, I like that too.
GFW is not the catchiest of acronyms, so
it's not, but that's kind of what we're known as now.
Yeah,
you know, kind of like
that or Craigslist
brand
listing,
huh?
So, I would say GFW. I think either you guys or like a bizarre Craigslist acronym.
Oh, like looking what?
Yeah, what would that mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It's Craigslist. Whatever you want it to mean.
I guess. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's who we are for now.
I've already made my one offensive comment of the podcast.
Yeah. For the decade.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
Racist. Scooter, I wanted you to share one other thing, which was the origin story of your name. Scooter. Not everybody in the industry knows that.
Well, I don't think I know this either.
See? This is a man who's been in the gaming industry for over 10 years now. And is known by most people just by that acronym.
It's not an acronym.
I mean, not acronym. Nickname.
That'd be cool if it was an
I need a
acronym.
little more of my Brodio coffee. It stands for stupid. Man,
Well, yeah.
Go on. Oh, it's going to get bad.
Stop.
Okay.
I just have a really difficult name to pronounce because I have like a French and Vietnamese name, and high school is not very fun. Being like Thierry Nguyen a lot of times. So Johnny and TC and I think Ken and Dave at the editors at the time were like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I don't know what to call you. And also, because TC...
I love it that they couldn't just be bothered to figure out how to say your name.
Because also...
What the hell do we call this guy?
Harry.
Some of it was, even though...
And one of them even had the same
That's
damn
what I said.
first
Even though
name.
one of them-
Yeah, right.
Even though we already called Terry Coleman TC, it's like, we can't have two Terrys on staff. Because, it was like, well, what were we already
OMG.
called by other thing?
And also, you were a kid,
I was a kid, and I was like, I guess an enthusiastic intern, and part of it was, I guess, the name... I heard conflicted things. Like Dave said, it came from the fact that I zipped around the office like as though I was on a scooter. Johnny
That's a retcon. I don't think so.
I think either Johnny TC said it was because Scooter was the intern to Kermit on the Muppet Show.
Oh.
He was.
And that I looked like him because I had the glasses and like the
that could
non-white complexion at the.
Yes. It was quite a novelty at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
His skin is
Those are the two versions.
We have a minority on staff.
Those are
Yep.
the two versions I heard, and that they just used it to say it as a shorthand to refer to me. And like someone's on a conference, like Johnny TC were on a conference call, some PR person, and they heard him say like, "Hey, Scooter, go get this copy of the game." They're like, "Oh, who's that?" It's like, "Oh, that's our intern." And it's like, "Oh, that's much easier to say his actual name." So that's how like I got leaked out to everyone, just saying my name is Scooter.
See, and you were smart enough to just go with the flow and accept Scooter because there were interns after that who complained about their
One in
nicknames
particular.
and then received much worse nicknames as a result.
Right. A later intern was, because then it became kind of a tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ryan was Animal for a while.
That's right.
Yeah, that one never stuck too well. We
It didn't, but it was
brainstormed
one
a
of the
lot.
better ones.
It was. Animal was good.
But yeah, we
Junior
did have an
Wanda.
intern that was, we decided was Junior. We started calling him Junior, and he not only did he object to it, he objected to it in the kind of, well, I really don't appreciate being called Junior. And Robert
that was
Coffey.
exactly how he talked.
Yeah, and Robert
It was
Coffey does
horrible.
not react well to that kind of thing. Said, oh, you don't like that? How about this? And from then on, he was known as Chim Chim.
Named after these very same monkey that's going to be in Speed Racer.
The Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Coming to theaters near you.
Yeah.
But so, Scooter, you got named that. There was actually a formal naming ceremony. Do you remember that?
Seriously?
Yeah, there was a meeting. Because that's what it was like in the Johnny Wilson days, you know.
Oh my,
We
you
did.
Really?
You know,
Yes, we were having like an
naming
edit meeting, and
ceremony?
he was great at like grandstanding, and
Well, he's a minister.
I remember.
he was he's a former
these kinds of
minister.
meetings. I don't remember that one in particular, actually.
Oh
I remember
yeah,
these
he
kinds of
got
things.
up there and was like, and so we have a new intern upon us, and so he shall be named. Went on and on like that, and he called you. He said you were dubbed Scooter, and he gave you a beanie propeller hat that he put on your head.
Wow.
You know what? I remember the hat, but I don't remember. I'm probably blacking it out. It's probably some weird.
Yeah, that's.
An early
PTSD
childhood
kind of
trauma.
Yeah.
Well, to block that out. Yes.
And then when I started at CGW, you had just become a full-time employee because you just graduated from Cal like that May.
It was like right after Jeff had just assumed because you became ESC in 01, and that's when
that's right.
Yeah,
that's
and
when
I came
finished
in
school.
September 01.
Right, that's right.
Because I was managed by I went through Johnny and George and you.
Yes, all the editor-in-chiefs left after dealing with you.
Wow.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Something about your early days. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just remember coming into that because I came in not from the gaming side at all. I was
did.
a magazine person.
You were one of
was
the
brought in
serious
to,
non-gaming
put
Ziff
you guys
people.
into shape. And that first Monday morning meeting was like petrifying. I was like, what have I done? What am I here? And all these acronyms that I've never heard before. I'm like, RPG.
FPS.
I was like, what? I don't know what's going on
Jibs.
here. Why did I do this? And you're like, brrr. You were like hyper. And then I have Tom Price and Will O'Neill and Jason Babler.
It was a scary group of
Robert
fellows.
Coffey, Ken Brown.
In fact, in the job interview, I had to warn you because Dana she was on the 9th floor, which is where the serious Ziff magazines were.
Business.
Dana worked at Smart Business.
No, I believe it was Ziff Davis Smart Business for the New Economy.
Oh, Ziff Davis Smart Business for the New Economy.
That was the name of the magazine?
Magazine.
They decided PC computing wasn't good enough.
So they changed it. Well, they wanted it to be Smart Business, but there was already a Smart Business magazine out there. So then they had to put the Ziff Davis in front, and then they added the For the New Economy tagline. So ZDSBFTNE.
Serious business.
Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue. Anyway.
Yeah. So Dana came from there, and she came down to interview, and she was wearing her nice business clothes. I had to warn.
And by that you mean not jeans and a free T-shirt.
Yes, that is what I mean. Yeah, I had to warn the fellows. A lady was coming down to the floor for a job interview.
Wow!
Please pull your pants up.
Yeah.
That was when my cubicle was right outside your door, right?
You were scared about hiring me.
Well, we had the job interview, and I had to that. I think that was a big part of the interview. I was like, it's a little unorthodox down here. Certain languages used. We're not that professional. I'm just saying. And you had the best possible answer, and it's actually why, because I interviewed a lot of people, and it's totally why you got the job.
And it is that I used to teach junior high.
Yep.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Because that's about the mental and social level on this floor.
Pretty much.
Welcome.
Yep.
Yeah. And it actually is scary over the years how much we completely, not just we, but I guess you yourself have completely geekified yourself.
Well, I was always a nerd. I just didn't know that much about games.
Specific nerd.
Now I know. Yeah. It terrifies me when I stop and think about how much stuff there is in my brain that was not there a mere 7 years ago.
It's not so mere.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yep. So there you go.
Yep. And now you're one of the. There's still not that many women gaming journalist types.
I can think of 3.
There's Fran, who runs OXM.
Kristen.
Who's great. Kristen Salvatore, our former ME.
Jen Sao.
And Jen Sao. And that's all I can think of.
Not that many.
Huh.
Well, I mean, I can think of a few. Yeah, I'm not even going to go down there. Anyone else who writes about
Since
games,
you four are all smarter than us, you really should just defect and form your own magazine.
And then we could call it Girl with no eyes and 27 R's.
So I might not recommend the print magazine business at this juncture in time.
You think we don't know that? Yeah, none of the magazines that I've worked at exist anymore.
Huh. Yeah. Go figure.
There you go.
Actually, yeah, I guess I could say that. The 2 magazines.
Oh, that was kind of funny, actually. After you guys shut down, Scooter totally put out a rumor that GameTap Edit was getting shut down because of your Facebook.
Because people...
What?
I said all I said was my first job is now shutting down. And people for some reason thought at my GameTap,
this was your first job?
No, I worked at 2 other places before.
So then we actually ran into Garnet the next day at a thing, and he was like, so you guys are losing your jobs? And we were like, no.
Stupid Facebook. So now I will stick to saying things like, Scooter's eating jelly beans right now. Scooter's going to play more Company of Heroes.
I love Facebook. So you're actually guys are pretty sad. I mean, GameTap owned by Warner Brothers, right?
No, owned by Turner.
Turner.
And Turner is a
which
Warner
is owned
Brothers
by Time Warner.
Yeah, Turner
I see Warner. I got Warner.
There you go.
Warner Brothers is all those movie people, and Entertainment Weekly is Time Inc. and all that stuff. But
so you're not going anywhere.
It was pretty crazy because we are the only, almost all of Turner is in Atlanta, so we are the West Coast based. So there's 8 of us in an office here, so we're tiny.
There are a couple of satellite CNN offices, but everything is all central in Atlanta.
But when we went to Atlanta, it was just okay, wow. I mean, there's a lot of...
The CNN Center, which is basically a mall and an office put together, owned by the CNN building, and the Turner campus, which is 5 buildings that was built on Ted Turner's old plantation that he bought.
Yeah.
And he just started to turn his house into a
He has a plantation?
Well, he bought
27 acres in the middle of downtown Atlanta.
I like thinking he actually had
someone may want to tell him.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Turner.
Uncle Ted.
We lost that war.
Yeah. So, it was pretty insane to go, okay, the company that we work for, pretty darn big.
Our company actually owns Casablanca. Or actually. Turner is actually.
What do you mean? The city?
No, the movie. Yeah, I mean, awesome.
Yes.
No, we own that. No, but apparently the movie
like
Casablanca is actually owned by Turner, and actually that was part of the reason why Warner bought Turner at some point, was because of all the movie IPs that we physically own.
10,000 movies. It was just something crazy.
There's a vault. There's a vault at Atlanta that has like 10,000 original movies.
That sounds like the X-Files.
Turner owns
secret vault of movies.
or like the Raiders of the Lost Ark
alien bodies.
Yeah, and we were also warned when we started. We were warned very specifically about, which I remember when this happened with us, like about not taking anything, using anything that was a copyright issue, because Time Warner's super interested because they own more copyrights than anyone else in the world.
One of the biggest IP holders in the world.
So do you guys get like free cable or something, or
Sadly,
what kind of perks do you get?
You get some, but I think it depends. I think those are more for actual. And if your thing says Time Warner on it, kind of thing. I don't know. I think it depends on the
if we're in Atlanta, like a lot of the perks are associated with the location too.
Yeah, like apparently we get a lot of free food at the CNN Center, and we get discounts on all at the Cartoon Network stuff.
I get a discount on my cell phone bill though.
That's nice.
Yeah, because Time Warner
subscription to GameTap.
I get a free subscription to GameTap. Cool. Yes,
indeed.
But yeah, I mean, well, Time Warner has 80,000 employees, something like that. So they're able to negotiate discounts for a lot of things just based on that number alone.
Man, you could really just kind of slide under the surface there with 80,000 coworkers. You can totally just fuck off all day. That is my dream. No one notices me here. This is awesome.
Vanish into the wall.
Exactly. I think I'll watch TV.
It is crazy when we get the company emails about congratulating HBO on all their Emmy wins the night before.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Or good congratulations to New Line for their Oscar nomination.
Or welcoming New Line to the Warner Brothers family proper when New Line got converted to a WB property, and not just company by itself.
That's always surreal.
Do they ever congratulations to Terry Nguyen on his Space Monkeys preview? Does that ever happen?
I wrote Space Chimps.
Oh, sorry, Space Chimps, and it was.
I didn't win, but
two errors.
There'll be inter contests to win the Wire box set, which I obviously didn't win, but win the Wire paraphernalia, T-shirts from the shirts and hats from the set, and the entire season. But I enter my name in, and I'm not listing the name of winners at last. I'm sad. Otherwise, I would be congratulations, Terry Nguyen of GameTap / Turner San Bruno for winning all this Wire swag.
So, do they know who you guys are? Well,
I mean, Wolf
other people at.
We tried visiting Larry King. He's not.
Yeah.
He's in New York, not in
Anderson.
Wolf. You're on first name basis with all these guys.
Yeah. Wolf is the default one that we joke about.
Yeah, Wolf or Anderson.
Wolf is our default.
Or that's Wolf got my paycheck by accident. I gotta get it from him.
Yeah.
Or hey, can
let's drop by the Situation Room.
I asked Larry King, hey, are you going to go to expenses? Can you get my expense report over, Larry?
Yeah.
I don't like that guy.
No, actually, I watched his recap of the Golden Globes. It's pretty terrible.
Larry King. You don't like Larry King?
Larry King.
I can't believe it.
He's senile. I mean,
that's the thing. He sits there with the Golden Globe ceremony. He's like, why was this movie not? He's watching the part about nominated for best musical and stuff. As Sweeney Todd, and he says, "I love There Will Be Blood." Why was this not nominated? It's beyond me.
He is regularly listed. They do this this one site says this top 10 movie quote horrors. People who appear in commercials. He's regularly in the top 10.
Sweet.
Right, of course.
Yep.
I don't think he
Turner,
moves.
we're all about integrity.
Yeah. I don't think he moves physically.
No, I know.
He's his to that desk. His shoulders are always in the same freaking. It just bugs me.
We are going to get the weirdest memo when we get back to the office.
Oh, this is you're probably breaking some sort of do not diss the company sort of.
Not talk about Chad.
Do not talk about Larry.
We have nothing but respect.
Right. Mr. King, listen to GFW Radio
and all of the properties.
Right.
But yeah, it is surreal. With names that it also helps legitimize my job with my parents. That you can be we're all CNN. They also own CNN.
Oh yeah, I should say I write for CNN.
And my parents are
right.
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
I actually encourage people watch Cartoon Network because that kind of gives me my paycheck somehow.
Right. So do guys like Larry King? Are you on email threads where he's complaining about mundane office things? How come there's no forks on this in the second floor?
You who does stuff like that.
Larry. Yeah.
No.
I need green Post-its.
That'd be fantastic.
No.
You wish.
Larry King was bitching about Post-its today at work.
Yeah. No.
The closest is when I worked at GameSpot, I got there was some corporate memo from Rupert Murdoch about environmental cups or something like that.
Really?
I shit you not. I swear. It's we're initializing this new environmental thing, and you have an official mug about it. That's
even though I don't believe in this whole global warming thing,
right?
Yeah, I actually have a cup of the new Fox initiative for environmental change, and it's yep, there's my official cup that Rupert Murdoch told me about.
Wow, it's not as cool as my Brodeo cup, though.
No,
I know. No, it's not nearly as cool. No.
So we're an hour in and have still not talked about anything.
I was going to say, should we talk about games or not?
We could take a break and then do that.
We'll take a break, and anyone who might be left listening will come back.
What are you saying? We're boring.
No, I'm not saying you're boring. No.
Uh-huh.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
Wow.
I can't not do that. Is everybody done chewing candy? We actually did take a real break, and everybody's eating the asbestos flavored candy.
I was eating some Ryan's chips, too.
Chomping away here. Though, actually, now that we've all heard off camera how much Ryan weighs, we're actively encouraging to eat more candy. You're a thin fellow.
I am.
Yeah.
You're me in my high school youth days.
Yep.
And now I've
except we're the same age.
God, that freaks me out. Because Jeff and Elliot used to tell me about that's just a phase. You're young. You'll
That's what people keep telling me.
But it's the kids. It's having the kids. There you go, Scoot.
And then now
I'm
just
offspring.
Man, I gained and I'm slower than my first shooter. Huh? I'm playing TF2 and I'm
wow. So weight gain has affected your speed in games as well.
Well, no, just age. Yeah, my constitution stat went low and my agility and dexterity went down as well. No, but yeah, now it's oh man, now I know what Jeff's talking about. I'm trying to play FPS and what the hell? I can't shoot worth shit now.
Yeah.
I told you. Welcome to my world.
I did see something the other day that made me think of you. So I don't know if anyone else watches No Reservations ever, the Anthony Bourdain show on Travel Channel, but he did a thing where he was going to go back to his restaurant because he doesn't actually cook anymore. Yeah. And he was having the worst time because he couldn't read the tickets anymore. Geez. And he was just he had to have people start reading them off. And it made me think of you because you're always
I had this problem actually playing Metal Gear Solid Twin Snake. What's it called? Twin Snakes? Right. Yeah. Okay, I've been playing it on the GameCube. I mentioned before Ryan let me his copy.
And you told me just a few days ago that you finally got past the first room.
I did. Not only did I beat the first room, I beat Revolver Ocelot. And I beat him fair and square. I did not cheat. But what then happened was I got to the part of the game where there's actually, I guess it's a copy protection thing or whatever, where you have to look at the back of the box to input a code. And I literally couldn't see it. I mean, I knew it was there.
Right.
I knew where it was. I could see the screen, and I could not read it at all. So I had to go to GameFAQs.
No, I think that code, I may be wrong, but I think it's 140.81.
It might be. It's definitely 140.
Oh, well, I mean, pretty much all the...
find more things for Ryan to do.
Oh, are they all 140?
Aren't most of the codecs 140 anyways? But yeah, it's a certain codex.
I thought it was 1.5. Right. You could be right.
Back in the day, Scoot, you would have known that off the top of your head, too.
Yeah,
we used...
the Scoot Matrix we used to call him. Or Encyclopedia Scootopolis.
I wouldn't use Google. I would just say Scooter.
My brain is decayed.
I know.
Yeah, before the internet, there was Scooter. It was quite incredible.
It's actually what the internet is based on.
Wikipedia is a direct download from Scooter's head.
What's funny is that one of the guys that my husband used to work with is also a total comic book nerd, and he would always hear stories from Brian about you, and he totally wanted to take you on a trivia challenge because he was like, "Oh, I could totally beat Scooter. I totally know." And I was like, "No,
probably now."
I was like, "Jerome, there's no way. There's no way." He was just all fired up.
So, Scooter, you have a child now who's how old?
2.
And has that changed your gaming habits? Or
the other day she tried to imitate Ninja Gaiden because I was playing Ninja Gaiden and she grabbed a Wiimote and was swinging it around like a sword to say "sha sha sha." Then she grabbed then she
figured out it wasn't doing anything.
So then she grabbed a second controller, sat next to me and was pressing buttons. I'm like, oh crap, she's aware of what's going on the screen right now. I gotta watch what I watch now.
Yep.
No more RoboCop, Pan's Labyrinth. super bad. I watched all of those from earlier. I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, when they're that little, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there is a point where when they start imitating.
Yeah, what is that age?
Fuck. Like, oh, shit. Uh-oh.
No.
Fuck, Daddy?
Shiri goes, shit. I'm like, oh. You don't even say mom or dad, say real sentences, right? But now you say shit.
That her first word.
Modern problem.
That's heartwarming. Yeah, Sarah used to sit on my lap when she was that age when I played, pretty much any sort of game. But there definitely became a point where as her awareness picked up, I let her do it less because I did not want her to.
So what age was then the cutoff for all right, now it's Sesame Street only? None of this other crap around.
Probably around 2 or so. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I'm right now instead of playing games at a friend where I'm like, well, I guess I'll leave my noggin for a little while until he's fall asleep enough, and then I could go back to finishing Ninja Gaiden.
And I'll say even to this day, and she is 14, I still will not play super violent things sort of around her or my wife. I just kind of don't.
She's 14. Is she actually hanging around you at all anymore?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Please don't come in here. Hi,
Sorry,
don't
Dad.
wanna. Yeah, don't come in here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Games, they affect the mind.
They do. Yeah. So right.
Scientific study, right?
So why don't we do a what you playing? I'm still playing Metal Gear Solid. Still liking it.
So how far are you in it? Besides the codex stuff, because that's not required. It has been so long since I played.
Yeah, I've contacted Meryl, and I'm waiting for her to bust me out of some room now. Oh, she's got to open up a gate for me.
Okay.
So that's where I am.
And you're playing the Twin Snakes version?
Yeah, and I've had a few people on my blog
weird.
say you're playing the wrong one.
Well, because
and I told them to blame Ryan.
Because there's parts
of a good rule of thumb for life. Actually.
It kind of is. Yeah. I always tell my wife.
Because there's parts of Metal Gear that feel kind of broken because of the way Twin Snakes handles things. So it's just weird.
You said, you beat Revolver Ocelot fair and square, which means you did not go into first-person mode and just unload on
I didn't. But other people are telling me that the cutscenes ruin the mood or ruin the effect.
That scene with the ninja?
Almost all cutscenes do.
Yes.
I hate
true.
cutscenes.
The one with the ninja after you beat Revolver Ocelot, that's totally stylized. That was right after the Matrix.
Well,
the
guy who directed the cutscenes for Twin Snakes was a guy who directed one of my favorite bizarre Japanese movies called Versus, which is basically a Japanese samurai zombie movie, and it's totally this weird stylized guys chopping zombies in half. And basically, the ninja cutscene was literally one of his scenes from that movie, but with ninja instead of the main character from the movie.
So do you like the hardcore faithful not like that edition? Is that?
I mean, they say
it's different.
It makes it more ridiculous than Ire was. I think in the new version, there's parts where
because a game with a bad guy named Revolver Ocelot.
It's already ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous.
It's already ridiculous when we have the level where the ninja jumps and kicks a missile away and cuts it in half. So you're okay, there's it kind of went beyond the point of
I still contend that it gets more ridiculous than that anyway.
That was always one.
No, 2 got more ridiculous. 2 did.
Yes. You get to
We're talking about 2 here.
Yeah, 2 is when you get even weird. In the context of 1, it's 1 actually was somewhat ground, but now it's okay, now ninja can fucking flip kick missiles. What the hell?
Those were always my favorite things when you would do when we were doing the Metal Gear Solid 3 cover on OPM, and you would do all the backstory stuff, just tracing the whole, because it was just so. It's like soap opera.
2 is so weird.
I tried to.
That's what I like about it, though, is just how absurd it is. I mean, if it was played straight, I wouldn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and so much of games out there do take themselves so seriously and play it so straight. You're
right.
Now 4, Monkey in a Diaper.
You know what I liked, and maybe this, I was going to ask you if this was in a...
Is that the subtitle?
Wow. One of the rejected names. Yeah.
Hasn't been rejected at GameTap.
One of the cutscenes, or maybe it was part of that same long cutscene that I thought was really cool, was they're talking about the arms race or nuclear weapons or whatever, and it actually goes into actual
FMV
video footage.
Of guys marching around
cool.
missiles exploding.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because that was pretty big for freaking '98 at the time, man.
So was that in the original game, or was that
some of that stuff was in the original?
That was a really nice touch. Yeah. So there's that. So I'm playing that. I played Battle of the Bands for the Wii, so that's up on my reviews. Should be up today on One Up, which I like quite a lot. But I shouldn't say anything.
Don't talk about it because I actually am still waiting for our review copy to show up so I can
Don't taint
the
her.
games
I don't
have
want to taint your opinion.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, I'm playing. I probably shouldn't go into detail yet, but I'm playing Wii Fit, which is why as you remarked earlier, my weight.
Right.
At least as far as Wii Fit alleges, I am near 28 years old, 5'5", and Wii Fit says I am 127 pounds. So,
That's such a
But then
I don't want to hear it.
Are you allowed? You're not allowed to talk about this game. We can't go.
I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but to follow up, Ryan and I are about the same age. I'm only a little bit taller than he is, and I am nowhere near 127.
Well,
at this moment.
yeah, I'm only an inch taller than he is, and I'm much older, but I am a girl, and I am nowhere near what he is.
Right, 127 for a guy is a different thing.
Yeah.
My metabolism, something inhuman.
Yeah, you're still eating candy.
I know.
Damn you.
Someday it may come.
One person who doesn't need Wii Fit.
You were skinny boy. Too.
I was a skinny runt, not unlike Ryan.
Really? When I first started CGW, I was skinny because you and Elliot were like, keep on eating those like triple cheeseburgers because they'll catch up with you one day. Because I was all like, yeah, I burnt through energy. I can like play games and do everything.
You burnt your energy.
Always had a slow. I was a fat kid.
Were you?
In college, I was huge.
Really?
Yeah.
See, you'd never know now.
Actually,
it's like you'd never know I was skinny.
240.
Wow.
In
really?
College, yeah.
Huh.
And then one day I was just like, no, and then I stopped eating. Which is about, I went about it the wrong way. I just would have like some rice. And that was my daily meal. But
I actually probably have a pretty good metabolism because I do eat quite a lot.
I don't know, one of my coworkers comments on the amount of crappy food I eat sometimes, and it's that I'm not bigger than I am right now, I guess, because I keep... Jared. He's like, you actually eat the Baconator when you go to Wendy's? Like, yeah, whatever.
It's called the Baconator.
Baconator.
You know
I eat the spicy Baconator. It's like multiple patties, bacon slices, jalapenos.
God, really?
It's totally terrible. I don't know why I do it. I just hate myself.
Those are the ones that we look at.
Yeah.
Who is ordering that?
Yeah, I think you're too old for the Baconator now.
you wonder who it is? You're like,
an age
you know
limit on it.
You know one person
there is an age
now.
limit.
If you are over the age of 20.
Or like the Burger King one where it's like, you don't think 3 patties are enough? How about 8?
Yeah.
Stack it up.
I mean,
can't. Yeah, that stuff makes me sick.
Yeah, because In-N-Out, I used not anymore, but In-N-Out, I used to always get like a 3x3, something like 4x4 In-N-Out. Not anymore, actually.
That's not even on the menu. That's like a special order.
Yeah. We have more stories about CGW people and In-N-Out.
Well,
yeah, one of our former
I was
editors.
beaten by
Johnny Lou ate a what?
An 8x8.
8x8.
8x8?
Yeah, we actually have a
8x8.
photo of it.
I thought it was 16x16.
It was in the magazine.
No.
It was 8x8.
His very first appearance in the magazine was like
It
that
was like
photo.
this, and his mouth was just like,
Amazingly, he
disgusting.
actually got his mouth around it.
Well, he's also
It's
the
like
same person
elastic
who
jaw.
ate a porterhouse for
84-ounce
by
porterhouse
himself.
for 2.
That's true.
And followed it up with dessert.
That was at E3. There was a tradition at CGW that I would take the CGW staff out for a steak dinner at Morton's.
Heck yeah.
No, it was $84
every year.
Okay, I thought it was like an
84 ounces? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, no. I think it was like
6 pounds of steak.
8 ounces or so. It was insane.
Right. So once a year at E3, this whole CGW staff and assorted freelancers, if they were available, your Tom Chicks and your who have yous, would all go to this nice steak dinner, and it was expensive.
But it was like the only real meal we would eat for the whole week.
It would be
and it was the best. Like, it tasted so good.
Yeah, we'd basically be full for a week.
Yeah,
after
because
this
it was
thing.
usually like wasn't after like most of the E3 crap I'd
It was like usually like Wednesday night, I think, was the traditional
Or
thing.
it would,
you
it
wouldn't
would carry
have eaten,
you through.
You would have been eating like either the
Right.
crummy stuff at the convention center
Hors d'oeuvres at
or like
parties.
things on sticks at parties.
Right, weenies on sticks.
Yeah.
So we'd have the steak dinner, and Johnny Lou, our editor, who would eat 8x8s. I guess I was at the other end of the table, but I guess at his end of the table, he was sort of saying like, I could eat a double porterhouse by myself, and someone else said, yeah, I dare you to order it, and he did, which not only was gross because it said on the menu for two. Yeah, but also it was like a shitload of money that I was paying for.
Yeah. Well,
Ziff was paying for it.
Yeah.
Then I fired.
That's why.
Yeah.
For the porterhouse incident.
Yeah. I never forgave him.
Yeah. Porterhouse for 2.
Yeah. Shawn, what are you playing these days?
I've been catching up on Sam & Max. A Game Tap exclusive.
Exclusively on Game Tap. How convenient.
Hey, that's not anymore, is it?
No, it's on Steam now.
They do it on Steam, and then
this season I think is exclusive on Game Tap.
Yeah, it appears there first.
We get it first.
Yeah,
that's
exclusive.
Actually, it's because of this season I actually decided to finally download it because the only Cinemax game I played was the original LucasArts one. I'm like, I should play like this because there's with this final season there's like 8 or 10 episodes worth.
Five.
Of.
There's 5 and
there's a total of 11.
I'll say total 11.
Yeah.
So there's 6 from season 1.
So there's 11 episodes worth of stuff for me. Like,
that's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. Well, aren't they like an hour each or something like that? Or?
They're like 2 to 3.
Okay,
yeah.
3 is about.
You are the
right.
PC editor, so yeah, maybe it would be good to.
The PC editor and a game that's on your site. Way to be informed.
Damn good.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't done the 5th one of season 2 yet. I just finished the 4th one, Chariots of the Dogs.
Nice.
Yes.
We were just actually talking about the conundrum of how to keep reviewing these Sam and Max episodes.
It's a tough thing to do.
This is like for this one in particular is the 4th one I have reviewed for GFW and or 1UP.
Yeah.
Which means I've kind of just randomly done a few of them. I did like number 4 and number 5 from season 1 and like number 2 from season 2. So you have the problem of like if you go onto a 1UP and you just want to get a snapshot of the whole season, like you're going to be reading other people's opinions and they might think that this one had the best puzzles or this one was the funniest. So like when you make statements like that, it's just, well, I think it, but then the guy who said that about the last episode too. So plus they really do build on themselves, and I think in my review, which I submitted to Ryan, I think it's dawning on me that reviewing one of these is almost like reviewing a level of a game.
Yeah.
Just like if I was just reviewing like the water temple in Zelda and then putting a score on the water temple and then
what would you give the water temple in Zelda?
Which Zelda?
Yeah, which one?
You know which one.
Oh, in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
That one I would give an A+. I think it is one of the finest levels of all time. Despite what other people think.
Freaking Water Temple fanboy.
The Twilight Princess one is like a B+.
B+, yeah. That's the one that involved like the weights and crap, right?
Yeah, and there's like all those sloping like.
Oh yeah, they like slide around and all that. Yeah.
That one's okay. That one's pretty good. You okay, Jeff?
Sorry, I was dying off mic.
So yeah, I mean, this 4th one of season 2 is actually, I think, the best one that I've played. But again, it's like in context of what this one especially builds so much on everything that came before. It involves like time travel, and you're like visiting scenes from season 1. And
so
then
it's like Lost.
It's very much like Lost. Yes.
I was going to
you're
say
finding
Back
your
to the
constant.
Future, but...
Okay.
No, well, yeah, maybe more like Back to the Future. But yeah, it involves jokes built on jokes that have been accumulating for 9 episodes. So like as a standalone thing, it's like really hard to
you can't really, I mean, it's a point and click adventure game, so there's not really anything to talk about mechanics wise. So it's like all you're talking about is the plot, and that's the fun part to discover.
And you don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
You I could sit here and just say, here's a funny puzzle, and then here's a funny scene, but you don't want to do that because
I did a preview of the first episode of season 2, and we actually got comments from readers saying, I'm not going to read it because I don't want you to wreck anything for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
so maybe the answer is not to review every individual episode.
Just review the season as a whole when it comes out as a group.
Except then,
but I don't know. Then you do see sites, where they're reviewing an episode of Lost, and it's okay.
Yeah, I find that weird. I find that weird.
But you're you read it because you're into it. Like you already know that. Maybe you don't read it.
I look on Lostpedia. That's it.
I don't know what to do.
It works. I think I'm at my limit personally for reviewing these things, though.
So when the next episode comes out, you're not going to want to review it?
I passed them off to Doug just because I'm like, I can't, I physically can't think of other ways to talk about this stuff. I enjoy them. I think they're very good games, and I think they definitely fill this void that isn't there. But yeah, I'm like, I can't figure out how to write about this without
keep saying the same
ruining
thing over and over again.
In my 4th review here, I have just broken the 4th wall and just started talking about the process of reviewing these things because there's really nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Here's how episodic gaming, and even you made your sweeping statements about episodic gaming already. You've made,
just be like Valve and take forever to make one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are different. I mean,
it is pretty amazing
that
Telltale really, truly has followed through in a big way on this. Like the only ones who have really.
No, it's a total success. A total success, I think.
I was waiting for them to pick up Bowen again.
Bone. Yeah, Bone. That kind of died
they got
after.
that Strong Bad game.
I know they're doing Strong Bad now
for the WiiWare.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's coming out on PC as well.
Too. I think it's WiiWare first, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But did Bone just die?
I think so.
Oh, I read some rumor that Bone was like kind of in limbo because of like the movie, like that I guess they're waiting for like this actual animation to start or something like that. There's supposed to be. It got optional a while ago. There's supposed to be some kind of movement that once that movement was started, then they'll pick up on the game again or something like that.
One of my all-time favorite comics. People always ask us for comic recommendations. Bone would be one.
Jeff Smith's Bone.
Yeah, I have like the big like one-volume version.
Yeah,
the very thin paper.
Yeah,
it's very thin paper
it's like
that fits all of that.
Yeah, great story that holds up all the way through.
Other comic recommendations?
Oh, that's
I didn't even talk about what I was playing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you were next.
Switching segments too quickly.
Yeah, I know.
What are you playing, Dana?
Well, I've just finished reviewing the Wii version of Okami, which I was a very big fan of that game on PS2.
Yeah, I remember.
Like it on Wii as well, although
Which
the graphics are not. Well, okay. Here's the big pro and the big con with the other one. So it depends on what bugs you the most. The Wii version does not look as good graphically.
Okay.
However, the PS2, there's a lot of really, really long.
That really is sad.
Yeah. A lot of really, and I ran them on the exact same TV side by side, so like it wasn't just the objective. Like I used John's big ass TV and mine, and yeah.
Ew.
PS2 version looks better. However, the PS2 version has lengthy cutscenes that you cannot skip, and the Wii version you can skip.
Okay.
And you can speed up dialogue.
Oh, okay. So I have the PS2 version. I have started the PS2 version. I'm not finished with the PS2 version. The Wii one, I kind of stopped when I heard about the Wii one, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play this. I'm going to get the Wii one. Worth it for someone who already has the PS2 version.
How far are you?
Not very. And I would probably start over anyway if I were to pick up the PS2 one again. Even though there is that 20-minute cutscene at the beginning.
Right. Well, you can skip past that with the Wii version.
Okay. How does the painting work with the Wiimote?
You know, it's actually... It took a little bit longer to get used to just because, like, with the PS2, since you're using the analog stick, like, you have this automatic guide, you know, a limit. And, like, you're, with the Wii, you're completely freeform. So, you know, it's like, much easier to screw stuff up. Okay. It took a little longer to get used to it. Which one would I play it on? I don't know. I would do Wii just because I can't stand really long cutscenes, and I hate dialogue that, like, I'm a fast reader, and so when the dialogue is just trickling across and I can't speed it up, it drives me nuts. So I would do the Wii version just because I'm very impatient.
Okay. I think that game also, if I remember at the beginning at least, has a lot of dialogue that exists that is just ... for a page.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. You made me read that?
Oh, Gogo 13, what have you brought?
I gave it a 9 in OPM on the PS2 version, and I also gave the Wii version a 9 on GameTap, so... Yeah. What else?
Personal pile of shame.
I'm still slogging through Puzzle Quest on my DS just because, you know, I like matching 3 things together.
In a role-playing environment.
But Ryan says it's a role-playing game.
Well, it is that too, but I
heard it's described as it's bejeweled with a mount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard many.
Yeah, the mount aspect is kind of useless for it.
It gives you...
It gives you like
stats,
one spell or a stat or something.
Yeah, but that's the best way. Someone said it's bejeweled, but you get mounts in it. Like what?
I mean, like it definitely drags, but you know, I've been like kind of leaving it and coming back to it, and it's just something that doesn't require a lot of thought. So,
I thought Puzzle Quest was awesome.
I mean, I like it.
We're
doing a sequel.
I know. I don't like actually the look of the sequel. Have you seen it?
The galactic one.
So it's like hexagon sided now. The board is, and whichever way you drag the gem, that's the way that the gems fall. Like if you're in space, because it's like you're in space, so there's no gravity.
Like the effect of inertia.
So you have to like be paying attention to which way you're dragging the gem too, because that'll affect the board. And
they may have just overcomplicated this.
I know. I'm like, that's
you don't fuck with success.
Yeah. Well,
did Bejeweled do anything wacky? No. It went to semi 3D graphics. Right. Those gems were like popping out of my screen. We joked that if GFW magazine had continued, we were going to do a Bejeweled 3 cover. Hell yeah. Yeah. At the very least, Peggle 2.
Peggle Knights.
Oh, Peggle 2, Peggle Knights. That would have been a great cover.
When the real sequel comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. We could have just put that chipmunk on the cover, maybe the unicorn. He's back.
Bjorn.
The chipmunk.
His name is Bjorn.
The evil
No,
chipmunk?
not the chipmunk from the video.
Oh yeah, not the internet chipmunk.
Oh God.
That thing.
That's Dana's favorite.
You know, Ryan will randomly just aim me that link like out of the blue every month or so. Just to
trying to rickroll you.
just to
Dana
watch
might
me
be the one
get
person
enraged on the internet.
in this geek community who has never laughed at that.
No.
You have never
Really?
laughed at the squirrel.
The
How's that
chipmunk
not
is
funny?
Chipmunk, sorry.
It's just
Explain how it's not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not
Explain
find
to
it
the
even remotely
demanding public
humorous.
here.
They have a right to know.
How dare you say that's not funny?
I like all the other stuff. like the Menergy thing.
That's
I loved
funny.
the Menergy drink.
Are you playing anything else? You playing anything on the PC? Remember that? CGW?
I have not had
World?
anyone to fund my upgrade of a PC. So other than
that
WoW
story.
on my MacBook, no. And I haven't played WoW in a long time either. I want to get back in.
I need to get back into that.
Yeah. We were
I still
talking about
play
that
that game.
today. Killing time at work because we're both like at this kind of lull. Well, I mean, I have previews that I need to write, but they're not due till Friday. So, I have time to
Nice.
procrastinate.
Excellent.
And, yeah.
It's just
Join
that-
me on the Proudmoore server.
I was
Here's the
wishing.
thing, like
What the hell?
I hate pickup groups in general. So every time I get a character up to like the mid 40s, where it's like it really helps to have like groups of instant like
You and I are
Scarlet
in the same
Monastery,
boat.
and doing. I just hate running Armory
need a
or
guild.
Cathedral with dingbats who like roll like
you need
on
human beings you like.
on Herod's
Yes.
like helmet. I'm like, dude, you're a priest.
Yeah,
I'm a
I think
warrior.
there are like
need
3
that.
of those in the
It
world.
is well, yeah,
I mean,
or at least can tolerate and talk to Trillo.
Wow.
well, you say you're
Come
a
to
Proudmoore.
our
Maybe
guild.
you'll finally roll a new Proudmoore character. Just like say like at least I'll like look for someone.
That
I-
game is so different when you're playing with people
That you like,
When you have
yeah.
It
5
really is.
friends in an instance, I still
when-
say it is like the best game
Yeah,
we'll ever do.
when I was on Ziff and we had the Club Sandwich Guild, that was like the best time I had. Wow, because like me and Skip
Yeah.
The short-lived club sandwich.
running through stupid
Yeah.
dungeons
Worcester
and
is
like
still sitting on a server there waiting
Yeah,
for me
so
to
is
come back and
Garnish.
play
I
her.
still have Neiman Ranch,
Right?
my Tauren warrior.
Yeah.
I believe it's actually pronounced Nyman. I always used to call
Really?
it Neiman, but
I
it's
thought it
actually
was Neiman.
Nyman.
Neiman? I always thought Neiman
Nyman.
also.
Huh.
But,
Looks
Yeah.
like Neiman. I object.
but yeah,
I didn't make it up. Yeah.
yeah, me and Skip were sitting around like, what should we call our guild? I'm like, just call it Club Sandwich because it's
That
like
was the first one-up guild before one-up, before Can't
like
Quit You.
I joined Can't Quit You briefly, but I just didn't play enough to like really be part of the Can't Quit You culture.
Yeah,
and then
I have a
WoW
character
just
on
kinda-
Can't Quit You, and it's been so long. Does
You
that
do, that's
guild still
Puke.
even exist? Puke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, that was the counterpart to Vomit.
They've
Yeah.
kind of become their own thing without any of us. I think
Any one-uppers?
you still are in it, right?
Yes, except
But you don't
any
play very much right now.
Can't Quit Youers who are listening now know that I have not logged in about 6 weeks. The flu derailed me from WoW.
So Vomit. Did you move Sherbert over there too? Sherbert? No,
Egbert is.
Egbert.
on
I mean,
Can't
that's right.
Quit
Oh,
You.
Sherbert was. That was another
Sherbert's
character.
a different character.
I actually
Yeah.
wonder if my gnome named Pedo is still on.
Pedo?
Because
That's classy.
I found like this gross looking face and facial hair combination that makes it look like he's constantly leering at things. I just named it that and see if I could get away with it. I actually had him do a /follow all like the kids running around Stormwind, and like people actually comment
That's
on
great,
that.
Scooter.
Wow.
You have a daughter.
I was gonna say you're a dad.
Well, I just waited to see if they change it. They actually remind me. I actually
NPCs.
Weren't you, Scooter?
Pedo. That's real nice.
Weren't you playing WoW on like your wedding day or something?
oh yeah, yeah. Because
Wedding-
that was during
honeymoon,
Club
right?
Sandwich
No,
days.
no.
Yes.
Wedding was on Saturday. I leave Sunday like afternoon / evening. So yes, Sunday morning while I was packing, I had some spare time. I played some WoW, and then we left for Mexico.
Because we
Cabo.
looked,
This
and we
was in
saw
the,
that
in the club sandwich days.
because we
Yeah.
saw that Scooter had logged, and we had been at his wedding.
Right,
the
I
night
think
before.
Skip actually set the guild message that said, "Scooter, get the hell off the computer and enjoy your honeymoon."
But it was. But the big thing that got me out WoW was like, having Alana was like, I just couldn't sleep. And like, I was like, I would play, and be like, wait, gotta go, and like be in the middle of like running, Armory, and be like, oh, gotta go, and then wait, I got trained by all these like, mobs and stuff like that. So I just stopped playing it. I just haven't really picked it up since. But now
Kids are quite a nuisance that way.
now I think I can finally get back into it.
I'm waiting for
Yet
Lich
to put
King.
it down.
Actually, when we go see Lich King, a few of us are going to go in a couple weeks for a press event, and I think that
I'm
these
jealous.
press events
I wanna go.
always sort of reignite my.
Actually,
yeah, you need
my
to-
interest.
Actually, it's like because of like the way like some other like Brad Shoemaker from the GameSpot was talking about it, the way Sean Elliott still talks about it, and because
He's not from GameSpot anymore.
That's why I said formerly.
Oh, formerly. Oh, I didn't hear the formerly. Because I was crunching on my camera. Sorry.
Yeah.
And because of the Dawn of War 2 announcement, I've been playing both like a lot of Dawn of War and Company Heroes lately, trying to like say, all right, if I combine these two experiences into one, that's like what Dawn of War 2 is going to be like.
Kind of predict the future.
That's just what I do on my desk. That or like lose terribly at TF2. Like, I'm a sniper. I'm trying to hit you at close range with a knife instead of using my rifle. Oops.
I've been thinking about getting back into that, but that's kind of
TF2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's scaring me is like, okay.
Well, after the announcement with all the
that's what got me back to
stuff.
That's what got me back into it, actually, is because I went to the Valve event where I played Gold Rush, and I was like, holy crap, this is a great map. And I really get back to TF2, and oh, wow, I forgot I suck at this game.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I will just be so left in the dust by the time I log in again.
Yeah, it's still not quite as bad as like Counter-Strike, though.
Yeah, I'm
it's
sure
still
it's not,
small enough that you can survive.
And there are classes that, like, exist kind of outside of
the
that.
support classes.
I think I'm just too old to like online games. I'm just like all you young punks who have time to just sit on, the kids. Oh, the internet kids.
It's mostly the people.
Yeah.
Right. I don't discriminate by age.
I like MMOs other than all the other humans who are playing in
That's why you
need with me.
You need people you like.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I would not be playing WoW if all I was doing is pick up groups or like
that. That's what.
Well, you do get to the point like what's like Scooter was saying, where you're in your 40s, where you really have no choice but to group.
And I'm like, I hate you all. That's it. I'm gonna like make an alt and roll somewhere and start again. Get to mid 40s. I'm like, you know what? Screw this.
Never
I hate this.
I never entered an instance except for like the first Ogrimmar one.
With the 2.3 changes, I think it was 2.3. Whenever they dropped
the leveling tunage,
you can solo the whole thing so easily because they got rid of a lot of quests that were elite. They made them non-elite.
Is that right?
Can you solo all the way to 60 at least? You think?
Oh yeah, easily.
Okay, maybe I'll find.
You also have the benefit of having someone else in your house who will play.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
See, I
have a constant team.
I live with a cheapskate who just would not want to pay for 2 accounts.
Oh.
I think he would like it, and he's looked at it and he was like, "Oh yeah, that looks like it would be fun," but I am not.
Because he is kind of a gamer, right?
Well, he's weird because he's like way behind. It's funny because he works like in an office with people who like. There was this guy who just got a PS3 and thinks it's fascinating that I work in the end. He's just like always asking Brian about these games, and Brian's like, "I don't know." And I'll bring stuff home for Brian all the time, and then he won't look at it for like a year or 2 years. Like he totally jumped on the Morrowind bandwagon or Oblivion bandwagon.
Like Morrowind.
Yeah, sorry. Oblivion bandwagon like a year after I brought it home, and he was like, "This game's awesome," and then he was playing it nonstop. But it's like, I brought that home.
Last game I talked to him about was
2006.
Bard's Tale. So.
Yeah.
But what?
The last game I talked to him about was Bard's Tale. So I was like,
well, when they
he's
did
a little bit behind the curve.
When they did the
original
one,
or the remake?
When they did the new one, the PC version had the first 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the PC version like had the first 3 on it, and those were like he played those when he was growing up, and it was just like these games were so awesome. Yeah. So he like installed the first one and was like it just like brought it up to show me, and then he was like, no, but 2, like the graphics were so much better.
And then we were like, why don't you try some new games?
He was very disappointed. Like every time that he would bring up these games that had the best graphics ever, and then
we all go through that.
They didn't so much.
Yeah.
You don't like what I liked?
Yeah.
I was just going through that with Fallout. It's like I remember how great these looked to me, and they look pretty crappy now.
Yeah.
Little isometric dudes running around.
Well,
punching rats in the groin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gameplay is semi-timeless, but graphics are not.
Yeah, no.
Right. Yeah, Tom Chick and I talk about like trying to go back to Deus Ex 1. Oh man, he said like right now with today's technology versus back then is like you gotta really love that game.
In some ways, it's even worse with those like early generation 3D games.
Actually,
going back to a sprite game.
True.
Actually, for the heck of it, recently I was actually loaded up Doom 3 just to see what it looks like, just see what it is like now. I was like, oh yeah, Monster Closet still, but it is fun to see it like running on like a modern system, which is much faster than what they had back then. I was like, Doom 3 running really smoothly, and you have this straight up Monster Closet.
Does it still look good though?
Actually, looks pretty decent. I mean,
I would think so.
Even though the characters aren't quite as detailed as nowadays are, but the general look like, it is still overall like lots of hallways with textures and stuff. And there'll be a bald guy where even though he's bald, has no hair, he still has weird points on his head because they don't have quite enough polys to like make his head round. But still, it actually still kind of holds up much better than like other games like Deus Ex. Other games like
Doom 3 is not that old.
Well, there's certain games like Zelda, The Wind Waker.
The Wind Waker?
That totally still.
Well, yeah, that's right. They kind of transcended.
But that's because it's
technology
so
with their art style.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. You're trying to shoot for the realism bar, and that's where you start like falling victim to the
time.
The time is not your friend at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's where something like WoW is so smart, or TF2 too, right? I mean, that's still going to look good, I'm sure.
Right. It's the art direction
years
over
from now.
Technology thing.
Right. I mean, like even I didn't think the Meet the Scout was as funny as it was. Just the animation, art direction just keeps it through, keeps it amusing.
Yeah, when I reinstalled EverQuest 1, not that long ago, relatively, like within the last year, oh my God. Yeah, but
that's even with like updated graphics since the launch.
It's with the updated graphics. But what I remember was at that time when I was really hooked into it, like it was such a realistic world I was inhabiting, I thought. And now I look at it.
I think your imagination was a little sharper.
Yeah.
I think that was required.
Right.
Even Dawn of War, only in 04, man, that game was looking old. It's like you got, your orcs look all like these little triangular jaws because they we can't have polys that have like a square jaw. It got to be a triangular jaw. Your Space Marines are like these weird squat dude. They look fat, not like badass. And
StarCraft 2, I've been having that trouble with, and the fact that you can't zoom.
StarCraft 2?
StarCraft 1, sorry.
I was going to say.
I'm so done with StarCraft 2. I'm on 3 now. Yeah. While you wait for 2. No, StarCraft 1, very old looking, but boy, does that gameplay hold up.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy does it. So I'll mention one other game that I just blogged about that I want to alert the listeners to if they haven't yet. Trackmania. I think this is Trackmania Nations Forever.
Something
or is it United Forever. I apologize if I got the name
Trackmania
wrong.
Nations United Forever Extreme. I don't know. Call it that.
Right.
The new one.
The new Trackmania, which you can get on Steam, or I think you could just go to actually trackmania.com. This is a very popular arcade racing franchise. It's been more popular in Europe than in here, but it has quite a big following. It always has, both for its arcade racing and its track building.
So it's arcade racing, right? It's not like you don't have to worry about gear ratios and all that crap.
It is a total arcade racer. It primarily uses the keyboard. That's what it defaults to, not even the mouse. I guess you could plug in a gamepad, but I read on one forum that the developers themselves just use the keyboard. That's what I've been playing with. So requires no sort of knowledge of how cars or engines work or how
physics
or physics. I mean, it does help to know how to go through the apex of a turn and that kind of stuff. I mean, those skills will help you a little bit, but really when you're talking about using the arrow keys, you're not talking about a whole lot of finesse.
Yeah.
So, but this entire game is online for free right now, and it's really great. And for free, it's probably like the best download I've done in forever. There is a lot that you can do for free. There's all different levels of difficulty. Each level has maybe 20 races that unlock as you go on and beat them. Most of them are incredibly short, a minute or two, and sometimes they're like 12 seconds because the whole thing is just basically like a stunt, and you have to, jump through whatever hoops. The graphics are really quite brilliant. They're cartoony, and it's 3D, but they've got a good sort of arcade cartoon shine to them.
So you get more if you pay? Like, are there more features that...
I believe. I don't want to misspeak because I didn't spend enough time on the site, but I believe that there is stuff that you can pay for. I believe that some of the online competition is something that you pay for. I might be wrong, and I apologize. They also did release a pay version. It was like a $40 game on Steam as well, but just to even the taste that they provide in the free game is there's so much there. There's so much to do.